These two units have shaken up the top 10. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are revisiting our Dokkan Fest TUR tier list. It's been a few weeks since the last one. In fact, the last time we did this, we had just gotten the EZA details for the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So we will be updating our tier list with two more new additions with the Daima Goku and Glorio, as well as the Super Saiyan 2 duo. It should be an exciting time. As always, we have three major categories that we use to assess our units to figure out where we're going to place them. Number one is consistency, right? How well does the unit perform its job? How often does it perform its job? Does it do it consistently? Second, versatility, right? How versatile is the unit? Can it be mixed and matched, thrown onto various teams, or is it pretty much stuck on one type of team and one type of function? And then finally, we do look at raw power. Now, this could come in the form of attack or defense, right? So is a unit so powerful that its attack stat can eclipse all other things and that be forgiven? Or is it the opposite, right? Is it the unit so powerful defensively that other things can forgiven, right? Two polar opposites, but I do think that they are worthy of consideration when we look at these units, right? If a unit is consistent and versatile, that's great and all, but if it doesn't have the power to back it, then it's not really a big deal, right? And it might not be enough to edge them into the top 10. So that is why we consider these three things. Now, recently, we adjusted the format of how we do our top 10s, right? In the last video, I mentioned that from this point forward, we will sort of, rather than just ranking 1 to 10 every single time, what we'll do is we'll pick up our tier list from where it was, and we will adjust the tier list based on new information. What this allows us to do is see how units are moving and shifting as the meta shifts, right? Because what people tend to do is when we do the 1 to 10 ranking system, people tend to forget about the units who were just there not even a week ago, right? Like if I move Kefla off of this list right now, who is currently at number 10, suddenly people stop paying attention to Kefla as though she is not useful, right? And that's just not how the case is, and that's not how I like to do these tier lists. If any of you guys did say you appreciated this model, so we'll continue this for the time being. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop on in. Let's start with the two EZAs that were added since our last video, right? So we have the Tech Majin Vegeta and the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So we will have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. And both of these are actually really tough for me to place due to one thing, right? In terms of consistency, right, Goku is the less consistent of the two. He is reliant on orbs for dodge, and dodge, as always, is going to be only as consistent as RNG allows it to be, which can be a problem, right? Add on to that, he also needs to have a Majin Buu Saga ally on next to him, which honestly isn't that big of a deal, so I'm not going to hold that against him on versatility because there are so many good Majin Buu Saga characters that he can use with himself that, you know, and they don't even have to be linked to him. They just have to be on the rotation when it's honestly not too much of an issue. And having run him multiple times on Daima Goku without that condition, it's honestly not that bad. So given that, I would actually believe that I would bump this guy up at number 7. And what that does is that shifts our list down, which means these four guys, right, who all basically serve the same function, which is why I kind of had them all at number 10. I would basically just go ahead and bump them all off. Now, does that mean that they're not good? No, it just means that, you know, they aren't striking over any of the Dokkan Fest TURs that are up on this list. That's all that means. They are still great options and great additions to the team, all serving relatively the same role. Gohan and Boo more on the defensive side, Kefla, Bojack, and Gotenks more on the offensive side. So that brings us to Majin Vegeta. And this one I had a really tough time placing because I do think he's incredibly good. I think he's really, really powerful. But the question is where to place him. This is tough because he's... Honestly, I would put him up here next to Tech Vegeta. And I don't think I would shift the... I don't think I would shift the lifts down. I think he's pretty comfortable right here next to Tech Vegeta because I feel like I tend to use them a lot on the same teams. He is incredibly consistent, right? His only problem being his base form. Now, there can be a bit of issue, this goes for Goku too, with getting them transformed, but I find that that's a bit overplayed. There's so many fights with so many different phases, right? 1 to 2 phase fights, yeah, you might see an issue transforming them, but beyond that, it's incredibly easy to pull out Majin Vegeta or Goku, so I don't use that part of their factor for consistency. In terms of versatility, again, he's a Vegeta unit. He links incredibly well with almost all other Vegeta units as well. So he's incredibly versatile in that. He's on a lot of good teams, and again, like the Goku, the Majin Buu saga condition isn't that bad, and it's really just for a little extra defense and the orb changing on Vegeta, which is honestly not that hard to fulfill. There's other good orb changers for him as well, so I think he's pretty comfortable here next to Tech Vegeta for now. Now to the thing that everybody is waiting for. Where do the Daima units land on this tier list? Now, a lot of people have been talking about where to place Glorio. So before I get to Glorio, I'm going to focus on Daima Goku because I feel like he's being incredibly underrated. Like, more so, I think, than anybody else. More so than any other unit this year, right? He's so, like, we've seen units be underrated, and then, they're kind of just barely passable. I think Goku is a good example of this, right? He's a bit underrated, but, I mean, he's just kind of okay at best. But Daima Goku is incredibly good, right? Once he gets built up, right, he's launching 23, 22, million attack stats that both raise allies' attack and defense for 2 turns, and I cannot stress how important that is. So in terms of consistency, he's got it, right? He's got incredibly good amount of dodge, right? 80% dodge for his first turn, and then after that, it's a decent amount of dodge. Plus, once he gets built up defensively, he's over 2 million defense, which means he's tanking just about everything in the game, barring a few supers, but then he's got dodge to cover that. Versatility, he's a Super Saiyan Goku. He goes anywhere Super Saiyan Gokus go. It's probably the most versatile type of unit there is in the game. So I definitely give him that. And then finally, power. Given that, 22, 23 million with the ability to launch 2 of those and support on the super attack effect, I think, while he's not the most powerful unit, the support kind of makes up for it. And he's got a lot of good defensive mechanics too. Like I said, dodge, and then of course the damage reduction. So, honestly, I think he's comfortably up here at number 4. And so what that's going to do is that actually is going to shift our list down once more, placing Topo at 10, Vegeta at 9. Again, another unit who is incredibly underrated in my opinion. Moving this Goku here, Beerus here. Actually, you know what? The more I think about it, I think I would probably have Daima Goku up here above these guys, honestly. Like, he's that good. Like, super underrated. Yeah, so I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with this position down here. For now. And then finally, Glorio. Now, I have a hard time placing Glorio because, again, like the Goku, he's doing a lot. He's got probably one of the best support mechanic types in the game. He's incredibly versatile, right? Battle of Wits, Demonic Power, which is now becoming an increasingly powerful category, Accelerated Battle, a very versatile category, and a few. I mean, those are pretty much the main ways you're going to run him, but I would say he's pretty versatile because I mean he's like the Intbu, he can slot into any team and run efficiently because the amount of supers and the way he's building his supers, it's much like the STR Gohan effect, where he's getting that extra 50% each time, allows him to hit on a leader skill over 6 million. What that means is off lead, he's still going to get enough to tank normals, assuming he procs his supers, and then he's also got dodge built in. 50%, but still it's there, which means Glorio is actually pretty versatile. Power, incredibly powerful on turns where he procs all of his supers. Again, defensively, 6 million defense we're talking about, with dodge. Offensively, right, at 55%, he's knocking out 24, 28 million attack stats, depending on how many attacks he actually gets and how well he's supported. Otherwise, 34 and beyond if he's, 79% or greater. So power's all there. Consistency is my only issue with him, but I feel like it's not as bad as, even I make it out to be, right? He's got 70% to super. He's got a guaranteed super, and then he's got 50% supers. So, I mean, it sounds like it should be pretty consistent, but I mean, if you guys have seen my showcase, we actually had the worst possible luck with his additionals. But the more I've done his Grand Tour, I find that it's not as bad. He can be pretty consistent. The 50% do not fail as often. I mean, they fail 50% of the time, but it's not that bad. And even when he doesn't, he can still tank pretty much every thing in the game. So, honestly, I know it's cliche, and I know pretty much everybody agrees, but there's a reason everybody agrees. I think he's pretty comfortable at number 1. And again, what this does is this shifts our list down once more. Because I do think he stands above Boo here. But now, having all of this, right, I kind of feel like I'm more comfortable with this position here. Moving down to have Boo, Goku, and Int Boo all together. Int Boo still remaining in the 2 slot for all the reasons I had him at number 1. It's almost the same reasons I have Glorio at number 1, right? Especially now with access to Buhan. These two kind of go hand in hand. Boo is now so much better with Buhan's existence. But of course, as we said before, one of the things that makes him so good is the ability to revive and still be pretty defensive even when off lead. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, due to all the Majin Buu Saga buffs and accelerated battles that have been coming, right? Daima Goku giving buffs to Super Saiyan 3 Goku as they are on Daima Goku is on Goku's lead, really helps Goku kind of maintain this, right? He is an incredibly defensive unit for the first 5 turns, and then slot 2 power and offense by turn 5 and beyond. So honestly, he's still pretty comfortable here up at the top. Slug, I would want to keep him up there, but I feel like that's too many hogging up slot 2. So I'm pretty comfortable moving him down. He's still just as good as he was before, but having Gloria now kind of standing alone at the top, I think shifts the list more so. I'm pretty comfortable with the rest of the list here. Goku being underrated, he is definitely within the top 5. Tech Vegeta here, I think this is a good placement for him. Again, this Tech Vegeta, really underrated. I feel like people haven't been using him much, and that's why he's getting underrated. He's still dominating all forms of content that are currently available. The only hardest fights for him are, of course, the 2 memorial battles, but that's easily forgiven by members of his team that can help support him, even more so with now access to Daima Goku and that support. Beerus at number 6 due to his, he's a one-trick pony. He's just kind of there standing as a wall. I can't give him a plus. He's got consistency. I knock him on versatility. because of links, and then, you know, for raw power, the defense is there, and that kind of forgives everything, which is why I'm comfortable placing him at 6. Universe Tree Goku, comfortable with number 7 for all the same reasons. He is consistent, he is fairly versatile, and he does have a lot of power for a TUR. And then the Brats, my main thing with the Brats is while they are powerful, while they are consistent and versatile, their main thing is needing that Goten or Trunks or Krillin to really take them at their full advantage, right? Without one of those, you can't even use their active skill. And that's kind of a big thing for me. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, again, consistent, versatile, and he's got some decent power, more so defensively than offensively, but it is there, and I feel like he's being underrated. I do think he is within this list. And then Vegeta, definitely super underrated. I do think he kind of squishes into the top 10. Roshi still, like I said before, is in the 10, but, you know, he's kind of... I mean, with all the extra support that all these other units are now doing, he kind of lost his novelty. It's not to say he's not bad. He just, you know, there's less reasons to use him to juice up units, especially now with access to things like Glorio and Daima Goku. And then, of course, Toppo. Honestly, I would be comfortable putting Toppo and Vegeta here, just kind of sharing slot 10. Another unit, super, super underrated. He is consistent. He is incredibly powerful once transformed. The only thing he is not is versatile, and that's kind of the thing that holds him back. But a slot 10 would be pretty appropriate for him, considering that's also pretty much the same problem with Vegeta. So, guys, that is our updated tier list for the end of 2024. The next time you'll see a tier list for TURs will probably be by the end of the month, when we get whatever the EZAs end up being for this celebration. Could be Kid Buu and Super Saiyan 2 Goku, or it could be Pikkon and Janemba. Who knows? Or they might throw one big curveball at us and give us something else. We'll have to see. If you guys like the video, if you guys like the tier list, let us know in the comments down below your thoughts. I'm super curious to hear your thoughts on the positioning here. You know, I wasn't initially going to put Glorio at number 1. I kind of wanted to keep Buhan and Goku at number 1, but the more I thought about it, the more I used him. He definitely deserves that slot. So... again, guys, if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, please share your tier list with us. How would you rank? Do you agree with my tier list? Are there any placements you would argue with? Let us know in the comments down below. Of course, remember to be respectful and provide points as to why you disagree. All right, that's my only condition for continuing to do tier lists. But otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.